Okay, the first question is, can a staff scientist non-tenure position be a PI if he has no independent group yet because he has just started work at his institute?
So that depends on the RFA. So in most cases, in most RFAs, the qualifications are described in the RFA, and having an independent position is important, but I think ultimately having the support of the institution or the company for which you work is really the key. The employment title, your position, whether it's tenured or not tenured, is not relevant to qualifying you or making you eligible for an application. But again, it's dependent on the RFA, and certainly that's where you want to look first.
Second question, if a company receives a SERM grant, can they apply for subsequent grants? If so, do the grants need to have different PIs, and can they be from the same company?
Yes, if you are a PI on a SERM grant that has been awarded, you can still apply for additional grants as a PI unless the specific RFA specifies that you cannot. So you can have multiple grants from SERM. I think the one important consideration in terms of having multiple grants is the percent effort to which you dedicate to each of those grants. And as you accumulate more funding, more things to do on your list overall, reviewers who are going to look at subsequent grant applications are going to take that into account as well in terms of the kind of time that you have available to dedicate to new projects.
Is it true that reviewers hate applications that are not hypothesis-driven? Is that true in tools and technologies?
So hypothesis-driven applications are, certainly common, but they are not something that reviewers will necessarily look for. Again, it depends on the RFA, on the specific criteria that are laid out, and so in many cases, such as in tools and technologies, SERM is certainly open and encourages proposals that are not necessarily hypothesis-driven and will actually inform and provide important information to SERM's overall mission. And that's really the key, how it aligns with our mission and with our objectives.
So there's a question here about monitoring. SERM is not the NIH. How are grants tracked and progress tracked? Do you exchange quarterly reports or meet with grantees to keep them abreast of your progress?
Yes. So SERM certainly likes to be involved and hear about progress of all of our grantees, and depending on the award type, the level of monitoring and the frequency of communication may be less or more. So I think on the opposite ends of the spectrum, for example, might be disease teams, where certainly because they are milestone driven, we're going to be checking in on a very regular basis to ensure that the applicant and the grantee are reaching their milestones, and if they are encountering any issues or problems, that we can help them overcome them. On the other side of the spectrum might be something like a seed grant, in which really it's about trying new things. It's about having new ideas where the monitoring doesn't have to be on a regular basis, but we will certainly check in with the grantee, and certainly we do require an annual progress report at minimum.
That is all the questions. Thank you.
All right, so now we are at the end of our program. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our speakers for the time and effort that they put into preparing these presentations, and to thank all of you out there in the audience who took the time to attend, and I hope this was useful. We'll be looking forward to some feedback from you. Found this to be a productive program. Thank you very much.